Florida. Marcotte in the powder blue trunks and Sugar Ray Leonard with his red, white, and blues.
What's going to help Marcotte right now is the fact that he's very durable and he has good power in the left hand. He's going to try to land that left hand as soon as possible. Try to get Sugar Ray to respect his left hand, to respect his power. But if he doesn't, Sugar Ray is going to go out, he's going to box him all day, he's going to eventually take him out with a series of punches.
Marcotte is a natural southpaw, so he has plenty of strength in that left hand, converted to a right-hander as a fighter, but good sting in the left hand. Former hockey player, still plays hockey on a over-the-age limit team back in his home, Quebec City. And of course, Sugar Ray Leonard from the Washington, D.C. area, Palmer Park, Maryland.
Right now, I see Sugar moving around quite a bit. What he's doing, he's trying to get the range of the man. Whereas Marcotte is coming in now, he's throwing the big bomb, and they're not landing, and at the same time, as I stated before, Sugar's trying to get the range, get the jab working, and from there, it's going to be all Sugar.
Leonard has such tremendous accuracy with his punches, lightning fast and razor sharp. In his last sparring workout, 6 rounds on Friday, I don't think he missed 5 punches in 5 rounds.
Well, he's a remarkable young athlete. He's not only a good athlete, he's a bright individual.
Says if it weren't for boxing, he wouldn't mind being a gymnast or a singer. I said, are you as good as Joe Frazier? He said, oh, I'm so much better than Joe. He can do a running front somersault, land on his feet. I mean, he's not just talking. He knows his body. When you think about how important it is to relate to all the feet, the hands as a fighter, the head, being able to duck and slip punches, a gymnast knowing where his body is even in midair has to help him as a fighter.
That's very true. Everything has to be well coordinated. And here you see a good example of coordination. Good fast left hand, feet, proper position. He's never off balance.
In the final minute of round 1. Marcotte already showing some redness around the face from those left sticks. Oh, solid left hand high on the forehead of Marcotte.
Those jabs are very stiff, very quick, and very hard. The first portion of this round, you saw Sugar Ray moving around. He wasn't doing much, trying to get the distance. Now he has the distance. He's going to throw a lot of combinations, a lot of right hands. He'll find the man first with a good stiff jab. The right hand will follow.
So I missed with a left and a right, but stayed with it and landed a right in the last exchange. Marcotte still looking for an opening. Countering left hand and a solid left jab by Leonard in the final seconds of round 1. Got the crowd oohing and on already. Round 2 in a big house at the Convention Center, Miami Beach. In case you just joined us, exciting basketball action preceded us. UCLA upset Notre Dame 56-52 at South Bend. Sugar Ray Leonard, light trunks, powder blue of Fernando Marcotte, who goes to the attack in the early going round 2.
Right, that's the only thing Marcotte can do. He has to try to get the pressure in there. He has to try to land the big punch. He has to do anything he can to keep Sugar off balance and then backing up. But the moment he stops, Sugar will start getting his jab back together. He'll start getting his combinations together. His right hand will start working.
Marcotte at 155.5, 6 pounds heavier than Leonard. Leonard has never faced a man this heavy.
Then again, he's also facing a man heavy, but what he lacks in power, he makes up for in the speed that he has. And as I stated before, it's not always the power of a punch that knocks a man out. It's the quickness and the snap of the punch.
And as Angelo Dundee stated before the fight, hey, you get a heavier man, that means he's bigger. That's a larger target to hit.
Larger target, and he's slower. You notice right there, the man threw a punch. Marcotte threw a good punch. Sugar Ray leaned back and countered with a jab.
Oh, that left hand landed. The first solid blow delivered by Marcotte. Oh, a grazing right hand. That's almost on the button.
Right, that's what I mean by countering using speed. He has the right distance. Marcotte threw a good combination, a good hook. Sugar Ray took one step back, let the man's punch drop. He countered with a good straight jab and his right hand over the top, which was barely off the button. Very good right hand by Sugar there on Marcotte. And those right hand leads are very dangerous when you have a man of this caliber fighter with this speed that Sugar has, hey, you can do that and you can get away with it.
You fought a man who had a good right hand, Lee.
Lighten up.
Muhammad Ali, and there's a lot of Ali, of course, in Sugar Ray Leonard and his style, and of course he has the same man in the corner, Dundee.
That's true. Muhammad Ali was a very good fighter, and he's been an inspiration to a lot of young fighters.
Midway through round 2. Oh, we should make this point right now. Marcotte has never been off his feet in his professional career. He has been stopped on cuts. No one has ever put him down.
Are we looking for a first today, Dick?
Now, Leonard isn't the one-punch Charlie, but his combinations can be devastating.
That's just not always one punch, it's a series of punches. Notice the snap of the jab, the quickness of the jab.
A blur of red when he starts throwing his combinations. Round 3 coming up. Into the corner of Sugar Ray Leonard. We listen to Angelo Dundee. Come on, Angie, talk for us.
I think Angie's a little quiet and Jinx Morton, the man on the outside.
Plenty good feints. Back him up. You do everything first. Don't let him do nothing first. Good.
All right. In other words, get off first. That's a basic rule.
Very good advice. The best defense is a good offense.
Don't let him do nothing first, says Angelo Dundee. Round 3.
Right now, this is kind of going back to the Willie Pep days, Dick. You have the smaller fighter with the hand speed, the deception, Sugar Ray.
It's interesting you brought up that name, Willie Pep, because my old friend Mickey Davies used to work with him back in the 60s doing the fights from the Olympic and is now the matchmaker here in Miami Beach. He likened Leonard. He said, I haven't seen hands this fast since Willie Pep.
The man is extremely fast, extremely agile, and extremely intelligent. There you saw Marcotte throw a good right hand, but then again, Sugar leaned from it, caught it with his arm, and was ready to counter with a good right hand if possible.
Left hand partially picked off by Leonard. Leonard was sparring with a young man named Bloom, who was unbeaten, something like 13-0 on Friday, and when it was all over, Bloom came over to me and he said, you can't believe how fast those hands are.
And that was with 16-ounce gloves. Now they have 10-ounce gloves.
Good right hand to the body delivered by Leonard as Marcotte walked in. And another.
Marcotte's walking in, he's throwing body punches, which is the only thing that he can do. He cannot afford to stay outside. Good uppercut by Leonard. No matter what poor Marcotte tries to do, he seems to get hit with something.
Solid left and rights by Leonard right above our location. Redness high on the forehead of the French-Canadian.
You know those body punches that Sugar's throwing right now, they're good short body punches right on the elbow. Good right hand. Everything is short and quick.
In the final minute of round 3, and Leonard opening up.
Keep him up.
Hear the voice of Jay Edson to Leonard, keep that left hand up. Marcotte trying to fight his opponent away, but Leonard bearing down, constantly pressuring Marcotte. 20 seconds remaining in round 3, and Leonard showing it all. And Marcotte comes back and lands a couple solid blows, and a cut now over the right eye of Marcotte. A cut over the right eye of the Canadian at the end of round 3. But not able to land cleanly. Rarely does he deliver a punch. Of course, the face of Leonard shows that. A great boxer and a great defensive fighter, and he just has never really been hurt. Very few cuts.
Right now, it's also a thing that he has so much speed that Marcotte cannot just come in and throw anything he wants to. He can't do anything. If he throws a punch and he misses, hey, he knows that Sugar's going to counter with something. He knows he's going to get hit.
Checking Marcotte's eye. They stopped the bleeding there, but they were not able to stop the bleeding from the nose. So he's showing the wear and tear of that rat-a-tat-tat attack from Sugar Ray Leonard.
Yes, Sugar's doing a very good stiff jab now. He's not using the speed on it or trying to get the snap. He's throwing it out there. He's trying to make sure that Marcotte feels the jab.
But that was O'Lee's best punch. That was Joe Louis's best punch, the jab. The other is all show, like the driver in golf, but the real punch is the left jab. That's the one that sets up everything else.
That's very true. If you have a good left hand going, you can set up the hook, you can set up the right hand, uppercut, everything falls behind the left hand.
Left hand that had the eyes blinking. Marcotte really took one on the bridge of the nose.
And that hurts. If you notice the determination in Sugar's eyes, watch the concentration he has. He's watching the man hard. He's waiting to see what he's going to do. He's watching the man's eyes, his shoulders. Whenever he starts to make a move, Sugar knows exactly what he's going to do. He knows exactly how to counter it.
You saw Marcotte take that left jab as you saw Leonard just zeroing in. Well, Sugar Ray Leonard, former NBC Sports World Boxing commentator. Should he win this fight, might be interesting to get Leonard to interview Leonard.
That would be very interesting. He's a very, very intelligent man, as I stated before, and I think that, hey, he can handle it.
Just circling and jabbing, and Marcotte becomes a punching bag here in round 4. Oh! Half a minute remaining in round 4. Lancer-like left hands from Sugar Ray Leonard. Boy, this is a clinic.
Marcotte is definitely getting a very good lesson in boxing. His only hope is to land a big left hook.
He's game. Marcotte, the Canadian, game. Enter round 4. Round 5 from Miami Beach Convention Center. Crowd, we'd say 6,500, 7,000. Lee and Liston drew only 6,200 here. This is a big house for Sugar Ray Leonard, who is drawing him wherever he goes. Also drawing some blood from the nose of his opponent, Fernando Marcotte.
As we were saying before concerning Leonard, when he was a sports caster for NBC, working on Sports World, he's a very articulate young man. He's a man that knows what he wants, knows how to go about doing it, and he's well prepared.
And as you know, Ken, you're an intelligent man. That the fight fan, like every other sports fan, wants his hero to be one who speaks well and carries a particular image. And you say you can't be just a D's and Do's guy anymore and survive in any sport. You have to use your head as well.
That's very true, because I think the fighter of today is the new breed. We are doing it by choice, not out of necessity. And most of the fighters here have an education, and they want to make a good presentation, not only for themselves, but for the game.
Leonard appears to be pulling back and pacing himself here in round 5.
Except on that one good body shot. This man is well schooled.
Boy, those are vicious right hands downstairs. Halfway through round 5, it's scheduled for 10.
He's pacing himself very well. He's picking the shots now. He's not flurrying as much, because Marcotte is said to be a very durable young man. His only hope is to land a big left hook, or later on in the fight have Sugar tire a little bit and come on with his supposedly good power.
Yeah, that's what his father, who trains Marcotte, says, that if it goes after 6 rounds, we feel then we might have that opening and the one big punch, and then we start banking the money. Not too many have found the openings on Leonard. Minute of round 5, you can just see the intensity in the face of Leonard, as if to say, okay, I've given you 2 minutes rest, here I come in the final minute.
Very good jab, right hand. 1, 2. The basic punch in boxing.
Left jab, right cross. You watch in tight. You almost feel those blows.
The fans now can see the expression on Leonard's face, his eyes. He knows exactly what he wants. He's out there. He's concentrating on it. He knows exactly what he has to do to get it.
You saw that left jab was there, and Marcotte, after the punch had been there's the right hand, puts Marcotte down. No, it is not a knockdown. Jay Edson, who was refereed 44 championship fights, said nope, that was a slip, no knockdown. So Marcotte has survived round 5.
Very good right hand lead.
Round 6, and you have the feeling as this fight has developed that this could well be it for Fernando Marcotte if Sugar Ray Leonard decides to try to put him away.
Right, he has sustained a very bad cut above his eye, but then again he has a very good cut man in his corner who has stopped the bleeding. It's only a matter of time. It was raper left jab, open it again, so those speeding right hands hit the point again. Is that a good way to put it?
What was that again? We're going to have to replay that one. But that left hand has done its damage, and the cut over the right eye of Marcotte, but it's not bleeding at the moment.
On that exchange, you saw Marcotte throw a good combination, but every one of those punches were picked off by Leonard. He rolled with the right hand, he caught the hook, and he's very well taught, and he's very well schooled, and hey, he knows, as I said before, he knows what he has to do in order to win.
He's thrown 5 jabs in this round, and all 5 right on the button. Well, his fame began, although certainly was late in his amateur career. He had 150 fights as an amateur, did Leonard, winning 145. But we all grew to know him and love him in those Olympic Games in Montreal, very near the home city of his opponent, Fernando Marcotte. And, of course, 1980, he'll be in Moscow for those games.
I break it, that's it.
Double right hand. Very seldom you see that in boxing. At that speed.
Look at there. There's a triple. And he missed on the 4th. Well, Marcotte, seeing all those left hands, wondered where that other extra hand was coming from. How do you stop Sugar Ray Leonard? Razor sharp. One punch after another. All in. He's able to... Marcotte was able to bob under a couple of those right hands. That was about it.
He bobbed under 2, comes up and gets hit by 3.
Oh, Marcotte lands a right hand. That's a moral victory for him. Cut is opened again to the side of the right eye of Marcotte. Trying to weather round 6. Final minute. Marcotte bleeding from the nose. Has to be very difficult for him to breathe. And he's bleeding over the eye. And that right eye.
Good right hand by Sugar. What Marcotte is trying to do right now is throw right hand under Sugar's left jab, trying to throw a jab down, but he can't do it. He throws the right hand and gets hit with 4 punches.
Time has been stopped. That's not the end of the fight.
Very bad cut.
Just stopping the fight is Edson. He wants to make sure that cut is not serious. The fight has not been stopped. They're going to call in the ring position. And it's okay. Just blood, but not that bad a cut. Final seconds of round 6.
He hit him with lead right hand and a good 1-2.
A little French pastry now by Sugar Ray Leonard. As Jay Edson came over to explain what happened when he stopped the action in round 6. He said, I have the prerogative to stop it first, go to the trainer to make sure the cut is not serious. If he can't stop the bleeding, then you go to the attending physician. They did not need the medical help. The cut is on the outside of the eye, not in the eyelid itself, and so then, therefore, not quite as serious, but well, you have to feel for Fernando Marcotte. I'm not sure that I'd want to get up and answer this bell. This is number 7.
And the bleeding was not stopped that round, in between the round. It's bleeding already, and after a few more good jabs, 2 right hands is going to open up again. The only thing that Marcotte can do right now is to go in, to try to apply some pressure, try to do what he can early. Because if he waits, the longer he waits, the more he's going to get hit, the deeper the cut's going to get, and there's a good chance they might stop the fight.
The blood, of course, on the trunks, white trunks of Sugar Ray Leonard is not his own.
There we saw Marcotte throw a short right hand. Sugar step back once and trying to get left hand over the top.
Big day on NBC Sports. We have the wide open action that will follow Sports World. Final round. I want to send along our best to your manager, friend Bob Byron, in the hospital in San Diego. Certainly rooting him back to answer the next bell.
Yes, to Bob, at the present time, is a very sick man. He's having a lot of difficulties as well. And hopefully things will have a turn for the best for him.
Middle of round 7, scheduled for 10. There have been no knockdowns. Marcotte went down on a slip. That could have gone either way. Marcotte has never been on the canvas from a punch. And that eye, must be difficult for him to see the right eye bleeding profusely.
The right eye's bleeding bad, but then again, Sugar's throwing a good right hand. That was a good leaping hook by Sugar.
But Marcotte can take a punch. We've learned that today. He's taken Leonard's best in combinations and has stayed on his feet. He's game, but
isn't there a limit?
That's right. What do you have to prove at this point? You're right. I support wholly. I don't think the game should be called knockdown. It's still boxing. You don't have to knock out every opponent just to get the crowd on your side. If you've beaten the man, you've beaten him. That's it.
When a man is totally outclassed, I think it's beautiful for him to keep drawing.
There's always that Hollywood version where you throw the one big roundhouse right and you knock out the overwhelming favorite, but that's not real life.
That's the Hollywood version of it. See those body shots, he comes back to the head. That's the market of a good fight. He goes to the body, brings the man's hands down, comes back to the head.
Less than a half minute remaining in round 7. Through a sea of crimson, Marcotte trying to block some of the blows of Sugar Ray Leonard. How close is Leonard to a championship fight himself? He's been brought along slowly and very carefully, professionally by Angelo Dundee. Is he ready to go after the likes of Pepino Cuevas and others? Round 8. And the doctor, after examining the cut outside the right eye of Marcotte, said the fight can continue. The courage of the French-Canadian very much in display. We were saying at the end of round 7, Ken, is Leonard ready for Pepino Cuevas or Wilfredo Benitez, the two welterweight champions, or Tommy Hearns, Palomino?
Yes, I think that right now, with the man progressing the way he is, with his hand speed, his smartness, his agility, and the way he's being brought along and trained, that it's a very short time until he's ready for these individual fighters.
Wouldn't that be a match, Leonard against Cuevas, the way that Cuevas will take 4 punches to land that one big haymaker against a boxer the likes of Leonard? Ooh, I'd love to see that.
A very good fight, very good. Leonard landing 4 and 5 punches, Cuevas trying to land 1.
A minute gone.
And the way things are going with him moving up in weight, with Duran there, look at it with Leonard and Duran together. That would be a good fight later on.
I think there's no question about what Leonard's going to have to fight as a full-fledged middleweight before too long.
At the rate he's growing now, and the strength, the speed, it's only a matter of time will he'll be fighting a full-fledged middleweight.
2.5 pounds over the welterweight limit for this fight at 149.5.
But he's going to be so much faster than they are. He'll lack power as he's back in this fight, but his hand speed and the snap of his punches is going to make up for that extra strength.
Incredible boxing display by Leonard. Almost knocked the mouthpiece out of Marcotte's mouth with that right hand, and here he goes.
Good right hand.
1 minute remaining in round 8. Landing at will.
This is why I think they should stop the fight. The man has no chance of winning. Even now, he can't do anything. Sugar's doing what he wants. He's landing punches at will. And very futile.
There it is. The first time that Marcotte has ever been down. 6, 7, 8. He's not knocked out. He does survived the count. The winner is Sugar Ray Leonard. They've stopped the fight. Leonard puts the veteran Marcotte, the 29-year-old French-Canadian, to the canvas for the first time in his career.